When you can actually see your profit for the year in dollars and cents, it gets you more in the notion of selling corn, knowing that I can lock in a $50,000 profit or whatever the profit is. You want to lock it in. If I know I can make that much profit in a year, I will be in business next year.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is Tuesday the 16th, and we had the market a little bit mixed here with corn down 3 cents, soybeans down 16 cents, and wheat in Chicago trading 6 cents higher here on the day. Let's take a look at the chart for corn. You'll notice that we are over $4. We did pull back a little bit today. I think one of the things that was helping prop up corn was the fact that wheat was rallying pretty sharply in the earlier part of the day. We also saw Chinese officials inform some seed companies that the Syngenta variety Mir 162 has been approved. Now we're going to want to see further confirmation. We're going to want to see Syngenta actually announce that. But the bottom line is that sort of news puts a little bit of support here for corn with the possibility of more sales to China. Let's take a look at soybeans here. Now we sold off today down 16 cents, kind of disappointing. And let's go over the reasons why we did that. First of all, on Monday, NOPA crush numbers. We were expecting large demand of 165 million bushels crushed in November. We only saw 161. Today, we are expecting some soybeans sales to China in a large signing ceremony with 6 major soybean buyers out of China. We only saw over 1 million metric tons sold. That's not a lot. That's about on par with what we get in terms of weekly export sales. Keep in mind that back in September, when we saw a signing ceremony like this, we were looking at export sales of over 4 million metric tons. So when we only see 1 million metric tons, that's a bit disappointing. Demand has been the reason why soybeans has been propped up here since the later part of October. And now without that continued positive news of strong demand here for soybeans, it looks as though some price pressure has come upon this January soybean contract. I wouldn't be surprised if we make our move down toward $10 and retest that area. Now let's talk a little bit about wheat here, because you can see that wheat was off to the races here earlier on in the session, but closed only 6 cents higher. Some of this has to do, a lot of this has to do with the fact that the Russian situation really was getting out of control yesterday. The ruble depreciated significantly against the dollar yesterday, and we actually saw an emergency reaction from the Russian central bank in the middle of the night, raising their benchmark rates from 10% up to 17%, trying to stem this sell-off pressure in the ruble. Now, what we see when the ruble is getting depreciated here is the fact that Russian grain is very competitive on the global market. And what we've seen is Russian grain leaving the country at a very rapid rate. And of course, this has caused concern for the Russian government, trying to make sure there's enough domestic stocks available for the domestic demand. The bottom line here is that over the last week, we have been watching Russia. We have been keeping a close watch on their rhetoric, on their policies here, and it looks as though they are trying to they're trying to introduce ways to cut or curb some of these export sales. Today we did get a story here from the Russian Veterinary Phytosanitary Surveillance Service that they are limiting some export licenses to some countries. So that was coming from a couple of different sources. But the bottom line here is that there are curbs going into place. It looks as though wheat kind of backed off the highs here, because it looks as though the Russian ruble found a little bit of support here today and was able to come back. We also saw crude oil bounce back a little bit here by the end of the day. But the bottom line here is that Russia continues to look for ways to curb exports, barring any sort of embargo. They are not going to do an embargo. They've made that clear, but they do look for ways to curb exports here to make sure and ensure there's enough demand for domestic users. So If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, please give the office a call. I'm going to show you just a quick slide here. This is in dollars per ruble, or excuse me, in terms of rubles per dollar. And you can see that the value of the Russian currency, you can see we surpassed that $60. We went up even to 70 rubles per dollar here yesterday, and that obviously has a very devastating impact on Russia, and it has a very big impact on exports and export sales out of their country. If you have any questions about what I talked about here today, please give the office a call. The number is 877-472-4607. And remember to take a demo of the mobile trading platform. See what it's like to have live quotes in the palm of your hand when you're away from your desk. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here on Wednesday for the ethanol sales report.